I just bought myself early Christmas present. This is Tamron 35mm lens, the aperture f2.8, really nice look. But is this lens worth the money is what you're going to find out in this video. This is Sony E-mount, so all the footage that you see in this video I filmed with Sony Alpha, okay? So this lens is set for full frame, but also APS-C sensors. I am quite impressed what I got for the price. It gives me that cinematic look. I cannot help myself. I mean, it is 35 in the end, but it has this really sharp look, but the aperture of 2.8 enables me to get really, really nice depth of field and really good light for any conditions. I tried it outside, I've tried it inside. I usually film everything as a manual focus, but I wanted to try the autofocus on this. If you go just like running and gunning, of course, you want lens that makes sure that everything is in focus. And the autofocus performs really well for this lens, and that quite impressed me. Also in slow motion, the autofocus is quite... I mean, it's not that fast, but I didn't go that much into my settings on my Sony. So basically, you know, because I'm not really bothered, but in general, literally, I put the lens on, tried the slow-mo, it refocused, and I'm like, quite impressive. Minimum object distance with this lens is 0.15 meters, and the filter measurement should be 67mm if you want to buy some filters for this lens. Additional features that this lens has is fluorine coating. And what this does, it protects the lens from contamination, but also it prevents any kind of oil or raindrops to stick to the surface of the lens, which I can completely prove because I was filming with this lens and it was raining and there was no drops on the actual lens inside, which I was wondering about, like, what? With this feature is moisture resistant all the way. So there's no way, it's water splash resistant. Of course, don't jump in the pool with this lens, but it's great for bad weather conditions. And of course, if I wasn't worried about my camera, I would continue filming. But I was actually filming with this lens. It was a lot of rain, not like too much, but it performed really well in the end. So I can actually confirm that. You see on the lens that it says, this is Mark III, by the way, so this is the third edition, but it says OSD, not OCD, OSD, Optimized Silent Drive. And this is a technology that enables fast and silent focusing. And the lenses are ideal for, you know, video shooting, as well as the situations where absolute silence is required when shooting. Autofocus, of course. What I can say about this is, I think the autofocus is very quiet, but of course it's not like super quiet. Like, you can hear it if you have the shotgun on top of the camera. I think it's gonna pick it up. But it's definitely, like, if I compare it to the EF, the Canon 24-105 that I'm using recording this video, the Canon lens is 100%, like, it's really loud when it refocuses comparing to this. But this is still something that, you know, it's not completely silent, okay? I've got some footage for you, of course, that I took with this lens and Sony Alpha camera, so you judge whether you like it or not. I have to say my overall rating would be really high. Of course, you know, I'm gonna need some other lenses as well for the Sony Alpha I'm using, but this is a good start. This gives you a nice, beautiful wide shot, but also when you get closer, it gives you beautiful depth of field, as well as I call it, a little bit of a cinematic look, in my opinion. Let me know in the comments if you agree. This is kind of all-arounder. Of course, this is a prime lens, so you cannot zoom in, zoom out, but I don't really care. I went to all different locations, and basically if I needed to be closer, I just went closer to the subject. So I don't see a big deal here. And of course, if I went, because I'm going to go to Richmond Park at some point, and of course I want to zoom in to see some deers and animals. So of course, this is not appropriate for that. But overall, you can use it basically for anything. And as I've tried to do some vlogging with it as well, and it performs perfect. Like, I cannot complain at all. Well, money well spent, 100%. Autofocus is also, if you do vlogging, of course, you need autofocus. So I'm impressed as well by this. So, you know, my overall conclusion is I couldn't be happier with this. This is a keeper. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions, or if you're thinking about, you know, any other lenses, or if you have questions specifically about this lens. Drop me a comment, subscribe, and I will see you next time.